Greetings, sentient beings. This broadcast is not intended for children. There will likely be strong language and adult themes. So, how's everybody doing today? Sorry, repositioning. So, yeah, pretty much the same day-to-day stuff here. Not too much going on since, staying inside most of the time. So, yeah, I don't have a whole lot to talk about on my own here. Yeah, well, that's the problem too. See, when I'm not good at monologuing, so when I'm sitting here alone, I don't know what to talk about. But I was going to have to keep this one short today anyway. Sloth Girl had her son visiting, so I'm going to have to drive him home this afternoon before it gets too late because he has to work later. So, seems brought up a good atheist, though. Yesterday, playing Minecraft, he discovered a village that had 4 churches. He packed them all full of dynamite and blew them up. Oh, hey, Greg Hartwick, my Patreon, who I fail to mention as often as I should. Okay, Okay, Faye, I just sent you a stream link on Twitter there. Come in and tell us about your kitties and maybe something more about this project you hinted at. Hello.
Hi. Don't get too excited about the project. I'm doing some writing because I am working on a collab with somebody, and we're kind of like I'm in the process of writing the damn thing, and then I guess after that we can find some sponsors because we'll need some props, but nothing too elaborate.
Okay.
And then I've got the cat, the kitten YouTube thing to set up, and I might actually do some fundraising for that because I need a new carpet. But that's beside the point. And
Okay.
I also don't know about, like, that room's pretty square, so if I can get a piece of carpet cut, I might be able to put it in myself. It's not that hard. There's no, like, weird corners and cutouts and things like that. And I can do some basic stuff. I mean, I can work on my own car, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, carpet and flooring can be, a little tricky if you have any cutouts to deal with, but
Yeah, this room is just a box.
okay. Well, if the room's completely square, that is pretty easy.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you do need to do cutouts, I would recommend like making some cardboard templates for anything you have to cut around.
Yeah,
Just so you can make sure you get it right on the cardboard before you cut into the carpet.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, if I well, eventually, as you know, what I need is I need a new stove, I need a new kitchen floor, I need a new dryer. I need a new ceiling fan.
Yeah,
I need to have this place painted because it hasn't been painted in like 40 years.
yeah. And
And
if I had known you while I was still living in New York, I probably could have helped with some of that stuff.
I, I I wouldn't have the money to pay you.
Yeah, but you've helped a lot of other people out.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you don't deserve to get paid. You are a professional.
Mm,
You are.
yeah, but yeah, you
But
helped me
I'm
out too
planning
with
on
the moving fund. So,
doing the painting myself. It's just a question of when I can get things and how far I can go, especially during the pandemic. And when it comes to the appliances, I've got to wait because I'm not really looking forward to anyone delivering, say, a dryer or a stove during the middle of COVID-19.
mhm,
I don't even want to shop
yeah.
or anything.
Well, and I know especially in New York, things are a lot worse than they are for a lot of other places.
Right. Well, believe it or not, I think New Jersey is worse than New York at the moment.
Yeah, I don't really know.
They have a lot of new cases. We're getting less and less new cases all the time because Cuomo's been pretty good at it, at like pushing the whole like safety precautions and things like that. So as the numbers go down, people are getting bolder. And I think you saw the video that I linked the other day of people in Staten Island yelling at someone without a mask, like "Get out of here! What you doing? Wear a mask! Get out of here!" So it's like, yeah, love you people, love you.
Yeah, I wish that people here would take it seriously.
Well, if not, it'll never go away. If
Yeah,
not, well, I mean, if everyone did what they were supposed to do since the beginning, and we can thank Trump for not pushing the rules, um, we wouldn't we would be in the same position as some of the other countries who've been able to relax a lot of their rules and maybe even enjoy a restaurant occasionally. But nobody in the United States, like all the states, are not like doing the same thing as the others. And because of the way commerce goes, with trucking and blah 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 and things like that, we're just in this Mobius strip of disease and funk.
yeah, and that's unfortunately here. It's like they're already backing off on things, and I'm sure that we're going to have it's going to resurge in a month.
Well, my post office lady, she won't wear a mask, and like Seraphin said, it, she thinks God will protect her,
Yeah, I've
and
heard that line a lot.
I've just told her, well, all you're doing is you're Typhoid Mary and you're spreading it to other people. Thank you so much for your consideration. You know, and I told her flat out, you scare me. You know, I was like, that's really nice. Can you, like, not come near me? Because, like, you scare me. You're, like, breathing on me. I don't appreciate you. So, I'm the bitch,
Yeah,
though. You know that.
yeah. Well, I've had the same thing that even stores here that say everyone must wear a mask to enter. Yeah, a third of the people aren't.
Well, I
And
did a corporate call to Walmart. I don't know if I've told you this. I called Walmart corporate and I put in a complaint with my local Walmart, and I told them, look, nobody is enforcing the mask thing, and it's a state mandate in New York. So unless you actually have breathing problems like COPD, where the mask would put you into some distress, everybody else is supposed
mhm.
to be wearing a mask. So also we can protect those with COPD. And they're not enforcing it. They're not watching their numbers. They're not cleaning conveyor belts between each customer. They do that in Vermont. They don't do it here. Couple of things, and it's just like I went through the list, and one of the employees the other day wasn't wearing a mask, And when I said, hey, that works if you put it on your face, not under your chin, he goes, I'd rather die than wear the mask. And I said, well, you probably won't die, sweetie, but I might.
Yeah.
And he's just looking at me. So I told corporate, and I didn't give anyone's name, and I wasn't like after a discount or after anyone's skin or after anyone's job, but I was just like, I told the Walmart headquarters, I said, hey, this is what I saw. This is the reality. We're in a pandemic. So if you wouldn't mind doing some store changes, because if I go in there in a month and nothing's changed, like you're not washing the conveyor belts, the cans on the shelves are still filthy, you have employees who aren't protecting themselves and other people, I'm going to call the state on you next time. I think I've given them enough time to straighten out, but
Yeah.
I was just like, I will report you. Because, I mean, I don't want to get them in trouble, and I don't want them to close down because it's like the one grocery store in the area for lots of people. So, of course, you want them to remain open. They're not going to be remaining open, though, if they're in the center of an outbreak. If we have an
Yeah.
outbreak, it'll be because the store's like that.
Yeah, we did have the local Walmart here was closed for a day. They didn't really give an explanation except that they were doing intensive cleaning.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that, yeah, somebody there tested positive.
Yep. We had a few stores around here test positive, and they closed for 5 days, and they had the medical UV lamps go through. They had like a complete sterilization. And now when you go in, like the employees are so clean and covered. And of course they had the New York State like sanitation stations.
Mm-hmm.
New York State put out its own hand sanitizer, and I know they made fun of the governor for that, but it really does smell good. And it's water. It goes on like water, but it does the job,
Yeah.
and
Well, and
they
one of the
have it
local grocery store
everywhere.
chains here
Mhm.
has set up like camp sinks by the entrance to all the stores so you can wash your hands before you enter the store.
Mhm.
And it's like, yeah, that's a rather common sense thing. I don't see why a lot more stores aren't doing that, but it's just the one grocery chain.
Well, I found out yesterday that my town is giving out hand sanitizer.
Well, that's good.
So I picked some up for me and some of the neighbors. And I, of course, handed them out already and things like that. But it's all about like trying to get all of this done. And
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, I made up a couple of gallons of hand sanitizer
oh,
because I was
awesome.
having to send it out to some friends in other states who haven't been able to find any.
I was thinking about like mixing my own
Yeah,
because
even here it was pretty hard to find the alcohol.
vodka, my darling, vodka.
Not strong enough.
There's plenty of vodka that's strong enough.
Yeah. Well, it's that's
Depends on the
to make
brand.
the stuff up. You need to find the rubbing alcohol that's 90% alcohol, and then you can mix that with 1 part alcohol to
Yeah, you
or
have to
two
be
parts
careful.
alcohol to 1 part of the aloe vera gel, and you'll get the hand sanitizer that's still a bit above 60%.
They have a lot of rubbing alcohol is at 50%, so you really have to read the
Yeah,
bottle.
you have to read the bottles. That's here too. That a lot of it's only 70%, and that stuff, if you dilute it, then it's not going to be strong enough to do the job.
Exactly. Do you really just, you know? But
Oh, hey,
I'm
IQ.
hoping I'm hoping like you do the alcohol plus a little aloe vera plus, say, maybe something like a few drops of grapefruit or a few drops of lavender or spearmint. Well, spearmint's kind of hard on anything plastic, so maybe not the spearmint.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you can
you
always
can
add
scent
something
it the
for
way
a
you
scent.
want.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now I've got the New York brand state, or I should say the New York State hand sanitizer. Smells pretty good and it works. And like some stores are keeping it in spray bottles so that you can spray your groceries
Yep.
before you bag them. But I'm doing it anyway. And it's kind of like, do you have to hold my product the way you're holding it in your bare hand? Can you like let go of that, you germy thing?
Yeah, well, and actually, I worry about the cashiers because it's their job to handle everything that all the customers have handled.
Mm-hmm.
So they're really the ones most likely to be in contact with it. Although the CDC did say now that the chance of catching it off of surfaces is probably not as high as they had originally thought.
For which kind of COVID-19? Because there's one that is like more infectious than the other.
I didn't know there were multiple kinds. The article I read didn't mention that.
There's more than one. It is evolving. People don't realize that, but it is evolving.
Yeah.
And there is one that is more infectious than. Oh, sorry about that. I wanted to look at the side chat.
Yeah. Yeah, but still, the primary thing is still person to person contact, and more than anything, that has to do with the water droplets from your breath,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why the mask. Even if it's not a proper medical mask, even if it's just cotton fabric, yeah, it's not going to be 100%, but
Yeah,
it'll
but
reduce the spray by a substantial amount.
if no one's wearing a mask and everyone's touching things and then they
Yeah.
rub their face or their eyes, they're gonna
Yep.
get it. And you're more
Yeah.
likely to get it in a building than you are outside.
Yep. Yeah, where the air is being recirculated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unfortunately, the touching your eyes thing is something I have a problem with because my eyes are so chronically dry. I have to, keep doing my eye drops so often.
Oh, I woke up pretty much blind this morning. I couldn't see a thing. I couldn't see a thing this morning.
Yeah, I
Like I
usually wake
couldn't
up with
read.
my
I
eyes
couldn't.
kind of. Sorry, go.
I was sorry. I just couldn't read or anything. And are you going through allergies, or is this like me? Like you have eye issues?
Yeah, it's just chronic dry eyes. My tear ducts just do not produce enough of the oil. So then without the oil, the water evaporates, and I'm just left with the mineral deposits in my eyes.
Yeah, that's not your ducts that do that. Those are like other things in your eyes that do the oils. The ducts are what drains your eyes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm using the wrong term, but
But there's a few things like what are you putting in your eyes?
well, I just wind up using the artificial tears. I've tried using other things, but they just didn't help that much. And the eye doctor said that some of those using them too often can actually damage things. So this is the only thing that he recommended as, being safe for me to use like 8 times a day.
Well, yeah, because some of them have like medications in them
Yeah.
to like either clear up your eyes or to basically medicate when all you really need is tears. But if you are having trouble with the oils in your eyes, there is an oily eye treatment thing that you can get. You're going to be blind for the first 15 minutes after you use it, but it's like a grease that you put on your eyeballs.
Yeah, I've tried some things like that in the past, and I haven't found anything that really had a significantly longer lasting effect than just the artificial tears.
Well, doing it at night when you're sleeping kind of helps because
Yeah,
like your eyes do need some like fats in there. But the only thing it really does is keeps down the inflammation and what do you call it? Prevents things like ulceration, which is what I'm fighting. Keeping my eyes from ulcerating. Yeah, that's a concept, isn't it?
yeah. Well, and that's I don't know, how much things tie together, but yeah, one of the things I'm, aware of is that the glaucoma has been a problem in my family. So I'm kind of at the age that, yeah, I have to be watching for that.
Nerdy's not happy with me that I mentioned eyeball grease. Sorry, honey. Sorry. No, but they put me on a special diet and supplements and all kinds of weird things for my eyeballs. So, which I gotta do, or I am looking at the latter half of my life being blind. So,
Yeah,
yay!
yeah, that's you do what you need to do. That's like I say, I'm on prescriptions for a bunch of other things. That's just kind of holding things off.
Uh, my eye doctor is like, maybe you should fill out forms for being disabled. I was like, why? I'm not blind yet. He's like, at the rate you're going, you're gonna be.
Mm,
Thank
that's
you.
yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, when your eye doctor is like, you might go blind soon. Thanks. Love you. Thank you for the hope. No more drawing from me. Get it out of the way while I've got them.
Yeah. Well, it's not entirely out of the question. There have been blind artists, but yeah, I can see that would be extraordinarily difficult.
I really am going to try to fight it. Like I've been really good lately,
Yeah.
so I'm going to um Seraphim, I'm with you. That's what they're saying that I'm eventually going to be blind, but I don't really. It's not that I have an issue with the whole thing. It's just I like to draw. I'm a very visual person. So if I have to make that adjustment one day, then I have to make that adjustment one day. But right now, I don't want to make that adjustment.
Yeah. Yeah, as far as the sight goes, I've just generally had bad eyes. I've had bifocals since I was 25.
Oh, I got those at 13. I mean, I know it's not a contest, but you know what
Yeah,
I mean.
no, just Sarah was mentioning having to have bifocals for her art.
Hey, like, oh, you made a channel. Cool. To a blind blues magician. That's cute.
Okay. Uh, Seraphim, what is your channel under the same name, or how would we find it on YouTube? I wish I had any kind of musical talent, play some kind of instrument, but I don't have the ear for it at all.
No, but what do you call it? I've been I do make bread, so I'm thinking about making sourdough, even though that's a pain in the butt to make. A couple other things. that I've always wanted to make, but I'm never home, or I don't know if I'm running out the door. And during COVID, I'm not working as much, so I'm just sort of like, eh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Seraphim,
I'm trying
I
to work
I
on my projects.
I do the same thing. I switched from oil paint and acrylics to digital art, and my hands shake like mad because basically what I'm doing is finger painting,
Mm.
and that can be rather difficult. But I don't know what app you're using. If you're using an app or if you're using an art tablet, you might, you know, like share some information. How are you doing this? Because I use Procreate. It's a really, really good program for like a tablet to draw on, not the art tablet where there's a virtual pen and blah blah blah. But some of the art programs out there, they're really good, and the tutorials on YouTube, believe it or not, they just sort of art flow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Okay, and apparently I am already subscribed to Seraphim's channel, but for some reason the notifications were shut off. So,
Your
and thank
Android
you,
might.
Amiga Nuts, for putting out the link there.
Oh yes, I got my mom several different art apps for her birthday like 4 years ago, and she still hasn't used any of them. And
Are,
she's a professional artist, and I'm not, so it's like,
is there a basic free one you could recommend that isn't hard to learn?
a lot of the ones that are out there are only like $2.
Oh, okay, that's
You
not
know,
bad. Yeah.
some of them are as much as 10.
Okay. Well,
These aren't expensive at all. But as far as free ones, you can always try one, but they always have like pens and like different aspects locked until you unlock them. But there's no monthly free fee for Procreate. It's not like some of the others, but they do have great tutorials on YouTube, like how
okay.
to use. I've been using my art programs all wrong. You know what I mean? And some of them are better than others. I have an older tablet. I don't have the new one. My uh, Eventually, I'm hoping that I inherit my sister's old one when she replaces hers. That's how I get most of my stuff. There's oh, what is it called? There's a really good art program out there. Seraphim. Let me just find it if I can find it.
Okay, so Procreate. I'll have to look at that one.
There's a few of them that are just amazing. I just can't find them in my list. I'm still half blind right now, so it's always fun to try to look for things in tiny little folders when you can't see. Maybe I'll just tweet it out later, like the different types of art apps that I use, because I use a lot of them. Because sometimes you can get certain effects from some that you can't on others. There's one that's really good. I didn't buy the um the extras. You know what I mean? Like, as I said, you can open up effects, but there's one called Repix, Repix, and they have like flares and raindrops and hearts and all different ways to like adjust a picture and make it more dramatic. And that's an awesome art thing. I mean, I wouldn't create something with it, but I would definitely improve a picture with it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Do some editing.
Mhm. Cuz like sometimes one program will give you there's one art program I'm thinking of. I can't find the name or I'd give it out right now, but it's got great oil paints and great brushes. They even have like a piece of tissue that you can smudge with if you want to use charcoals. It's really awesome, and they have like um a a sponge where you can like sponge your work. I made a decent pic of Scientist Mel with it once, but like yeah, I mean it's got all the tools, Seraphim, and you can get some really great effects. But I always
Well,
find that I want to play with it a little bit more. Maybe I want to use magic marker or something like that, but I don't like the magic marker in that app, so I'll save it and then I'll switch to another app and then I will do the extra. No, sometimes when I'm making a picture, I put it through like 7 different apps just so I can get it right, if you know what I mean.
well, I don't know much about the art at all, so that's why I need something that starts at a very basic level.
Oh, I would definitely go for Procreate because once you learn on Procreate, um, you can basically like just about do anything, and they have a lot of different options for brushes and things like
Okay, here
that.
it is. Yeah, I was having trouble finding Procreate for Windows. It was all coming up with stuff for iPad and Android,
Mhm.
but I found a link for it now.
Yeah, most of the thumbnails that I've made for Nadine and Angie, I did in Procreate.
Yeah, that's one of the things. I've got to learn how to make proper thumbnails.
I am going to look for that app. So hold on a second. I gotta go to my sister's app store because I had to redo my apps at one time. And I don't know if I got all the art ones because this one seems to be missing.
Okay. All right. Well, I got the page for that flag to look at it later.
But I mean, wow, some of the. It might be Art Set Pro
No,
actually.
Angie's still stuck without having a good internet connection.
She's waiting for them to show up.
Ah,
Yep,
are they supposed to take care of that today then?
It's called Art Set Pro Edition. And I don't know if you follow me on Twitter, Seraphim, but I'm gonna tweet the thing so you can see which app it is. You don't have to follow me to see it. So I'm basically YT Wonder Lady. But if you want to ever talk art, I don't know if we follow each other or not. I have no brain today.
Yeah, Seraphim. I was looking for it for my desktop. You know, I really don't feel I need to have, the internet mobile. I can use it at home. I don't feel I need to use it when I'm not at home. Although more and more it's being forced on me because every place now assumes that you've got a cell phone, and especially now with them wanting to, do everything with no touch, now more and more places are expecting you to have apps on your cell phone to do things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I don't like. I really don't like the smartphone. I wish I didn't have to have one, but it's been forced on me. And touch screens do not like me. So, I'm still trying to keep it to doing the basics because I have a hard enough time getting it to do the basic shit.
No, but Seraphim, it's Art Set Pro, and the expansions for that one are worth it.
Yep.
But you can use crayon, you can use charcoal, you can use acrylic, you can use pastels, and they have a water splatter, they have a tissue, a sponge, a blender. So it's kind of neat, and yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I have GIMP. Unfortunately, all the tutorials I found already all seem to expect that you've already used some other art program like Windows Paint. So they don't bother to explain the terminology, so I can't follow what they're telling me to do.
Well, Nadine has made a lot of different GIMP tutorials, like different things that you can
Okay.
do to make things. She's pretty good at explaining things if you just wanted
Yeah,
a one-on-one
I've
chat
watched
with
some of
her.
hers, but
Mhm.
again, it's like nothing explains the basic terminology. It assumes that I already know like what they mean by layers.
Oh, okay.
And until I find something that explains the basic terminology, I can't follow the tutorials. I don't know what they're telling me I'm supposed to be doing or looking for.
Right, they do assume people are already into these things, but have you tried to find other art tutorials on YouTube that deal with those programs? Because there's a few of them, that actually start from the very beginning.
Yeah,
I have Krita, but I don't have the art tablet to draw with it, Hans.
I haven't found any that starts at my level of knowing nothing about art.
Krita has wonderful tutorials. They teach you everything. There are so many people like who've made like how to draw on these things. It makes it better. And trial and error is also a wonderful way to learn too. Again, I don't have the art pad and virtual pen thing, and I can't draw with a mouse. I'm better off with regular ink and paint than I am with the virtual stuff, but most of you have only seen my virtual stuff. Like my my circle that you see here with the face, I drew that.
Yeah, I know that's one of yours. I'd seen a number of yours. Not just your thumbnails, but some other art pieces you had done.
Yeah, I try. Sometimes I just give up because I can't keep my hands from shaking, or my vision's starting to run out. So it's just like, save, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's
Yeah,
fun.
and I definitely am more comfortable with just pencils and a drawing board. Not that I can actually draw anything that way apart from mechanical drawings.
Hmm.
That's the only thing I really learned is drafting for projects where everything is precisely measured.
All I know is it's fun to draw. And with the vision issues, I'm always like, what am I going to be doing? But, between being able to do it at least on my iPad, if I screw up, I can undo it. And if I screw up, I can start again or delete a layer because I draw in layers. Just think of it as basically like transparent sheets, one on top of another.
Okay.
And, if you're not sure that you're going to be able to do a nose correctly or do an adjustment, you can do it on an extra layer above the other one, and then you can merge them because some programs only give you so many layers. But that way, if you want to commit to the bottom layer and how you want things to look, you can always do that.
Yeah.
You can always reverse it too if you want to. So
Hello.
If you can hear.
oh,
Just barely hearing you.
That's not very nice of my laptop to do that.
That's much better.
hi.
Hello.
Hello.
So yeah, hi. I can't. I followed you back on Twitter.
Awesome, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime you want to talk apps and art, and I'm all for it.
Well, I was using not Procreate. I was using ArtFlow because I tried a bunch of different ones. Before that, I used ArtDesk on my tablet, and it got to where it was glitchy on my tablet, took up too much space and everything. So I tried ArtFlow, which was a lot better on my tablet until it died.
I get it. I've been trying a few styles, which is something that if you do it on paper, you're kind of risking like a lot of money down the drain. You know what I mean? Like art supplies cost a lot. People don't realize.
Yeah.
They do. Usually I buy art supplies during Black Friday because they're cheaper, or I buy them when my work does our bonus that they give us. Because I can usually get them for cheaper on those times. Wasn't able to do it this year because usually I buy myself a new set of pencils because I am hell on some pencils.
Oh yeah, I love pencils. They're wonderful.
But yeah, right now they're all at work. I currently use Prismacolors, but my work made us clear out quickly, so I wasn't able to get all my stuff.
Oh dear. COVID?
Yep.
Yeah.
They made us clear out within 2 days and got us all set up for working from home.
And you're without your pencils.
I don't know why, Walmart had a set of like 24 Prismacolor pencils that I'm using, which is pretty neat because if you know how to blend, that's fine. And I tried another brand that they had that's crappy. I don't like them. I use them to start a fire or something.
My mother is so good at art, but I don't have half her skills.
Yeah, Faye, you want to drop a link for your channel too? Unfortunately, entering Wonder Lady into YouTube gets a lot of results, and none of these look like you.
Oh, okay. I don't post as often as other people, so
I just recently started posting my stuff, so I'm okay. Hopefully I'm going to start posting again whenever I get my tablet, which is supposed to arrive later today.
Oh,
I'm so excited.
Cool.
I've been without a tablet for over a week, and I'm dying to draw.
Yeah, I get you. Did you do your avatar?
I did, yes.
It looks great.
Thank you. I keep telling people it's me, but cuter.
Well, that's definitely cute.
It.
Thank you.
Yeah, I tried to do I've been using the tablet to like change up my style as much as I can, and lately I've been trying. Well, it's not very good, but I'll send you a picture. But yeah, like people are like, oh no, Faye's doing the whole like I'm a 6-year-old drawing again thing. Yeah, I do that. I will.
I usually draw animals and birds because I'm horrible at drawing humans because I can't do skin tones right yet. I'm still learning how to do those, and I hate it.
Screw that.
But lately I've been just doing, if I do like draw humans, I just draw it flat and don't color it like I did with the picture of myself and of Amanda.
I get it. I did I got a weird style because I don't have a style.
My style for humans is unfortunately anime style, which I don't hate it. I just hate my style of the anime style, if that makes sense.
Why?
I don't know. It just looks too childish to me, and I'm like, I want to draw realistic stuff. Which I know I can do if I try and like keep learning, but that takes effort.
Right. Well, I mean, I kind of like imperfection, if that makes any sense.
Well,
My
yeah,
personal appreciation for art is I don't like it perfect.
Well, that's true, because if you make it perfect, that makes it boring. And also, when you're drawing humans, they're not perfect to begin with. I personally hate everything that I create. I know that most artists do that, so I'm okay with it.
I just
I'm
sent
on
you like
Questions
5
today.
different ones like on Twitter, and one of them is the dancer I did, but like I think when it comes to like skin tone and stuff, you gotta give yourself a break. I know a lot of people are into light sources and things like that, but sometimes you gotta.
Yeah, that's my thing. that's my thing. Whenever I go to the thing, like, oh, you have to understand anatomy. It's like, I don't know anything about anatomy. I don't have the memory to learn anatomy right now that well.
Of course you do.
No,
It's called look it up on Google Images, like art anatomy. And if you have trouble with hands or whatever, you can like spend a day just enjoying drawing digits. It's fun.
Oh, I hate drawing hands so much. My thing is that I have horrible memory, though. So the moment I learn something, I typically forget it shortly after, unless I look at it repeatedly over and over and over again.
I get it. Believe me, I do. I know it doesn't sound like it, but I do.
Releasing the second the pain dries just sounds so emo. That's like is that supposed to be like an emo way of saying blood nerdy? Sorry, I'm reading the chat.
No, it's fine.
Oh no, that's good. I'm a lot of times when I'm not talking, I'm trying to read the chat. Unfortunately, with dyslexia, when the words are moving, it's very difficult to read them. So it takes me a lot longer to keep up with things.
I think you turn on slow posting, which will kind of slow them down.
But I don't want to, choke off people's comments. And if you put on slow mode, then when people are trying to just talk back and forth with each other in chat, it interferes too much with that. So I mean, it's a small enough group. I don't see that there's any need for it. If you have like 100 people in the side chat, I can kind of understand it.
I need to, sometimes I just hold it and then go through it one at a time. But I always have to like make it bigger so I can see. So there's that.
Yeah, well, I use my flat screen TV as a monitor, so that at least makes things big enough for me to see them.
Hi, Dave. Right. Speaking of the devil.
Yeah, but
Yep.
I
okay, Dave's here. It's time to shut down.
Okay, bye. No, but Seraphim, I sent you some pieces over Twitter. So.
Yeah.
I see them. They're very, very pretty. I think most of my stuff is on my tablet currently.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have some stuff on like DeviantArt as well because.
Oh, you should put your link out to DeviantArt. Love to
Yeah,
see
Dave, I actually just dropped the link for your channel because we were talking about your critical questions.
I did do the picture for Obeid's podcast, the two bunnies that fight.
Yep.
That's my work.
Faye, do you have a DeviantArt page?
No.
Oh, you really should.
That's what I hear. I've got too many things in the fire, and I've been trying to write for that new show that I'm doing. Gotta work out the cast, gotta work out all kinds of things, and we're gonna need props and all this other stuff. So there's stuff with that. So I'm hoping we launch in like a month, but I'm not sure if we will. I thought arrogantly I could get the writing done within a few days, and it's taking me longer because I've got two needy little kittens right now at 6 weeks old, destroying my life.
I only have one, and she's a little tornado. She's currently asleep, thankfully, but usually she's on crazy pants mode.
Yeah, I was going to get one, but I ended up with two because I couldn't leave the little boy behind. So
yeah, well, I think it's better that you kept them together, especially since they were separated from their mother so early. They kind of need each other.
Yeah, people. I'm in Georgia, and people do that all the time because the kitten that I have, she's 6 weeks old. She's actually like 4 weeks old, or was 4 weeks old. So she's basically attached herself to me, which I'm okay with. I like that they're snuggly.
Well, that being snuggly is good, but it really bugs me that anyone would separate them before 10 weeks. Because they really need their mother and they need to learn things.
I think 12 weeks.
Yeah.
Every website I look at says 12 weeks because they're gonna need to learn the grooming thing.
Right.
They need to learn cat boxing, and they need to know socialization thing.
Yep.
And I got mine at 5 weeks. You got yours at 4 weeks. I feel kind of guilty, but my sister got one, but she has adult cats in the house, so they can teach her things.
I have 2 adult cats. And there's like a big story with those 2, but they're basically a bonded pair, even though there's like 2 years between them.
Mm-hmm.
And I basically just figured that one of them's the other's cat because that's how they act. So the kitten is my cat, essentially.
Yeah, and I pretty much think that that's the problem with Sloth Girl's cat, Petunia. I think she was taken from her mother too early, and she never really learned how to groom herself properly.
Yeah, and the worst thing about that is the lack of grooming themselves can also be an indication of health issues. And
Well, and it can certainly lead to health issues if they don't know how to take care of themselves and somebody's not helping them.
But I keep watching for little bottoms because we did have a poop impaction. And, well, they've already been to the vet. Within 12 hours, I had them at the vet.
Toes is one of my cats. She's the one that I'm considering as the other cat's cat. She doesn't know how to groom herself. She'll just rip out her fur. Because at first we thought, oh, well, maybe it's a skin issue. It's not. Then we thought maybe it was stress. It's not. She just doesn't know how to groom herself at all.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping that, I'm hoping that these 2 make the adjustment and I'm not overly mothering because, that's what I'm good at. Overdoing things.
Well, at this age, they need that.
She has like a medium coat fur, and the cat she was learning from all had short fur, so I guess she didn't translate it very well to that. Thankfully, the kitten that I have now has short fur, so she's learning to groom perfectly fine.
Hi! Oh!
Yeah, Petunia has very long, shaggy fur to the point that we wind up taking her into the groomer to get her shaved twice a year.
I take one of them to the vet to get her nails trimmed because she's a polydactyl cat, and one of her nails.
I have a polydactyl.
Yeah, I can't trim one of her middle claws, so I take Toes. Her name is Toes. I'm so creative. I take Toes to the vet to get that middle claw trimmed.
I haven't named these little fuckers yet.
I have Happy because he's such a sweetie, even though someone poured acid on him. And
God.
Oh, God.
Yeah, there's like a whole story with him. He's a sweetie, though. He's like the sweetest thing ever. Like, you would never know someone was mean to him. It's amazing. And then I have Toes because whenever I was trying to think of her name, I called her Toes McGee, and it stuck.
Oh, that's cute.
And then I have a kitten named Gigi because she's a little boy panther.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things with the move and just the new apartments that I can tell everybody is less stressed, and Petunia is about 30% less bitey. It used to be that she would have to bite me every day.
Bitey. These guys bite everything. Everything.
Yeah, Gigi's very bitey and very clawy because she doesn't know how to retract her claws. And I don't think she's going to learn because she hasn't done it yet. She's about 8 weeks old now.
Yeah, well, Sammy's son has that problem that he's got an extra claw on each thumb.
Mm-hmm.
And he can't retract them because of that.
Toes has like a thumb, and the thumb has like 2 major claws, and then there's like a little minor claw between the thumb and the main paw. So she has a ton of toes in her front paws. Yeah,
well, Sammy's got the right number of toe pads, but he's got 1 extra claw.
Oh, that's difficult.
Yeah,
it's like it's split at the base and it grows twice.
Yeah, well, and that's why he can't retract his front claws, so my legs are always scratched to hell.
Mm-hmm. I'm going through that right now, but only because kittens like to climb.
Yeah. Well, Sammy likes to jump up in my lap, and I do encourage that, but, I wish he would get the idea of just coming up and just laying down, instead of walking around for 15 minutes before he settles in.
Well, I've got vet appointments set up for shots. Ah! I'm being attacked. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I still have to make vet appointments for ours. We
Yeah, I
were
need to get
supposed to have them checked when we moved into the new place, but then that stuff got closed down for a while.
Yeah, the vets are still mostly closed here as well, which is weird because most everything else is open in Georgia.
Yeah.
And I need to make an appointment for Gigi, and both Happy and Toes are up for their shots.
Yeah,
so.
well, that's I was calling, and they were saying that they would take people in if the cat had a serious problem, but just for a routine checkup. They just told me call back next month.
See, ours is you have to wait in the parking lot. You hand over the carrier, and they take Kitty away, and then later they come out and they do all the paperwork outside.
I can understand why they do that, but that would be difficult, to not be there with them when they're obviously going through something traumatic that they can't understand.
Yeah.
Whenever I take Happy to the vet, he's fine on the ride there. He sleeps anytime he's in the car. But when we get to the vet, he freaks out when they close the door, and he has to be near me. So I would feel kind of weird putting him through that because he doesn't like being in closed rooms.
Yeah. Well, and Petunia, okay, hold on a second. I gotta hang up my mic and go close the window. They're cutting the grass here.
Okay. Yeah, my only problem is whether or not I'm going to have enough patience for litter box training. Ah!
Thankfully, Gigi she already uses a litter box, and she already eats kibble and wet food. So
yeah, mine do too, but last night we had a poo in the box, and then they went and peed outside the box.
She peed outside the box because anytime I open the fridge, she likes to go in the fridge. And the first time she did it, I didn't notice until I heard her meowing. So I locked her in the fridge, and she apparently took it personally.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's one cool kitty cat.
Exactly. It's like at least you're cool. She didn't agree.
Yeah, Sammy seems to want to get into the cabinets here, and he never did that at the old place.
Oh my goodness, it's Armageddon.
But
I have them in a side bedroom right now because I don't want them getting hurt, and I had to drag all my art supplies out of there because you don't want them licking a turpentine bottle or knocking it over or things like that. I do have some harsh chemicals in this house.
Oh yeah, I've got the same issue here with painting supplies.
Until the entire house is cat proof. I didn't have any trouble with Patsy because she was so well behaved. She didn't come into my life until she was at least 7 or 8, So
my main concern with Gigi is that I have one of those desks that has the keyboard tray, and she likes to go on the keyboard tray and play and nap. I'm pretty sure as she grows older, sooner or later, she's going to get stuck there. It's going to be all my fault.
And Mr. Shadow Kitty said his was feral and didn't learn to use a litter box. Although once they come inside, a lot of them, if you show them where it is, will tend to use it just because they would rather bury their stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately, these guys are not that smart. So no. Oh, I love your art. Your DeviantArt page is so cool.
Oh, I was going to say I sent it to you. It's mostly my pencil stuff. So.
Oh, you're so good.
Well, I'd like to see it too. If you'd send me the link, I could look at it later.
I'm trying to teach my kitten that hands are friends, not food, because she's trying to eat my hand.
Although, if you're comfortable with it, you could drop a link to it in the side chat too.
Oh yeah, I just noticed I have a
tiger is unbelievably cute.
Yeah, I hadn't realized that before that you didn't have the wrench. I thought I'd given it to you before.
But being naked is fun.
Oh, you can be naked with me anytime.
Oh, thank
I
you.
love your stuff. Really, I do. Honestly,
Thank you.
you're wonderful. You've got talent.
Awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you. And your stuff's
I
very pretty
love
too.
your bats.
Those are possums, but thank you.
No, the one I'm looking at is a bat. I see wings. I'm in your gallery.
Oh yeah, I have a bat on there too. I like bats. Bats are cute.
Bats are amazing. I love bats.
I drew that whenever I found, like, I started following, there's a lady that rescues bats on YouTube, and
Oh, I'm a big fan of her.
there's two of them. There's Mega Batty, and there's, what's the other one's name?
A
Mega
bat
Batty-
rescue? I haven't seen that.
Yeah, Mega Batty's been having a hard time, though. Poor woman has had, like, the last couple of months, every single one she's rescued has died because they've all had brain trauma, and I just feel so bad for her.
Even Walter?
Huh?
Even Walter? Walter's so old.
No, I mean, like she's rescued like a bunch of newer ones in the last couple of months, and like the night she goes to get them, and like overnight, basically, they usually end up passing away or something.
Oh, that poor woman.
Yeah, but that's also because like a bunch of the people wait so long to call her.
So they're dehydrated and really in severe.
Yeah, they're dehydrated, they're stressed out, and stuff like that. What was the other woman's name? I'll probably remember it soon. Well, let me go to Mega Batty's page.
There's a couple of them that I love, but
Wow.
like bat rescue is like a big deal for me. I love them. They're just so cute with their little swirly nostrils.
Yeah, looking at your DeviantArt page, I mean, you say you can't draw realistic things, but this one on the wolf is really good.
You should see her polar bear.
I can draw animals pretty realistically. It's just like humans I can't.
Well, even this one called Daydreaming is, fairly realistic.
Which one's Daydreaming? One moment.
It's just this woman laying on a red background, a lot of pastel colors.
Oh yeah, that one. Thank you.
And that's as far as the proportions and that, it's all quite realistic. It just looks like it's kind of been softened.
I see what you mean by like your humans are a little cartoony, but I love them.
Well, thank you.
So, yeah. Your sea turtle's incredible.
I've gotten used to the style. I recently so previously a lot, like that would have a lot more in it. If anytime I fill up a sketch pad, I throw it away. I don't keep my art.
Okay.
And a lot of those are because I have a coworker, or had a coworker. I don't work with her anymore. She would steal my art, so I wouldn't throw it away. So most of these are because she stole it, so I couldn't throw it away.
Aww. Well, don't throw away your stuff, really.
I'm trying not to do that anymore because I'm trying to basically not hate my art, I guess you could say.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
But if it appeals to somebody, you know what I mean? It kind of sort of, I don't know. It's hard to explain what I'm thinking, and I don't want to peer pressure you. Love your little lizard face. Oh my god. Love that. The scales are gorgeous.
Yeah, I'll have to go through these more later on.
They're really good.
Because I could easily get lost in your artwork, and then I won't be paying any attention to the chat here.
She's got a great eye.
To me. Oh, the iguana?
Yeah.
He took forever. I spent a ton of time on the iguana, and I have I have about 3 turtles, I think. One of them's digital.
Okay. Well, with all the animal stuff you've drawn, of course, I have to ask if you've done any dinosaurs.
I have, but it's not on there, and it was digital. I jokingly did a velociraptor because there was a joke about me being a velociraptor instead of a human.
Oh, I like that.
And she has, I need to find it because she's wearing a turtleneck, and she has very cute socks, and it's adorable. But I don't know what I did with it. I think it might be on my old phone, which I need to figure out how to not get eaten by a kitten. I need to figure out how to get stuff off of my phone because my phone broke. I just have like all kinds of stuff breaking. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Believe me, some of the stuff that I've got, a lot of it is on an old tablet that.
Yeah,
Well,
I got to figure out how to transfer all my stuff off of my old phone because they're
I'm pretty
forcing me
sure.
to get a new one. Yeah.
Pretty sure what?
Yeah. Well. Yeah. No. I mean, it's probably not that big of a deal on mine, but it's something I've never done before. I've got to figure out how to save everything off of it because they're telling me that this model phone will not be supported after they upgrade the network sometime this summer.
Oh, that's harsh.
Yeah, and I
hate
don't understand why. I'm kind of suspicious that they're just, pushing for selling some new phones.
What kind of phone is it?
Basically, it's a knockoff of an iPhone 6.
That's what my phone was. Not an iPhone 6, but my phone was. I used to use Huawei because they're inexpensive phones and they're great phones. But with all the things happening with China and COVID-19, I wasn't able to get it fixed without it being expensive as shit.
Yeah, well, and they don't make them to fix them. They expect you to replace them. These days, they don't even expect people to keep them a full year.
No, they don't. That's gotten them in trouble a lot, though, too.
I think that's environmentally rude.
It is. That, this one I bought it as a refurbished one, and I've had it for about 3 years. But again, I'm not really interested in most of the smartphone functions. I would rather have a slider phone that's got a full keyboard.
Oh, okay.
Well, I have a problem with touchscreens. For some reason, they often do not respond to me.
Didn't we conclude it's because you're a dinosaur and, cold-bloodedness doesn't work very well with that?
I was thinking that myself.
Actually, I was told that that's one of the issues. It's just that I have poor circulation in the extremities. And apparently with a lot of touchscreens, that can cause a problem if my fingers are too cold.
Because when I'm too cold, my device won't react to me. Or if my hands are too clean. Sometimes I have to, use lotion or whatever and get my hands a little greasy so I can draw.
I have to do that sometimes because my hands are, too dry.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I don't quite get that because, aren't they supposed to work with a stylus? So
Depends
why
on
would
the
the temperature matter?
They have a little bit of grip because they're rubber. So
Yeah.
if your hands are too silky, they just slide over the top and it doesn't register. But they register
maybe it has
great
more
to little
do
cat paws.
Yeah, maybe it has to do then more with my skin being so dry.
Oh my god, yes, they do. They do register with cat paws because Gigi loves to play with my phone or my tablet.
Yes.
And it always registers when her little paws are on it. I'm like, why are you doing this? Why are you listening to her more than you're listening to me?
Yeah, I've had that happen too, of Sammy pressing random things on my phone, and I just find it doing things, and I don't know how it got there.
I've got a couple of cat apps so that they can play with the laser pointer on the iPad.
She doesn't like those. She ignores those. Like, I've tried cat TV.
Might be
with,
too
the
young.
birds.
She might be too young.
Well, yeah, but I'm going to try it with her later. But I've also tried the cat TV with Happy and Toes. I ended up watching it more than they did because, birds are relaxing and they're pretty.
I find if you've got an older cat who's not used to technology, they're not going to react to birds and mice on the screen. What they will watch are other cats. So Maru or Shoko, other cat channels with other cats.
Yeah, I've tried that
Marmalade.
As well.
They like other cats more than
it never occurred to me that the laser pointer would be a thing on the tablet. I do have a tablet around here somewhere. I've misplaced it, but I should try if Sammyson likes that. And as far as not responding to birds or animals on the screen, when Badger has done his nature videos, especially the one he had of the mouse in his shed, Sammy was ready to jump into the monitor to go after it.
Well, she did lose her mind on the magpie one recently, which was adorable. I love animals. But whenever he posted that magpie video, all 3 of my cats lost their fuzzy little minds because of it. And I'm sending you the Velociraptor, by the way.
Yep.
And you as well, Wonder Lady. I found it.
Yay.
Oh, okay. Yep, I see the raptor now.
That's not the one with the socks. I couldn't find her with the
No,
socks.
yeah, the one in the turtleneck here.
That's just her adorable little turtleneck. Yeah, people were joking that I was either a robot or a raptor. So I'm like, I'm totally not a raptor, and I posted that as like my profile picture for like the longest time, and it was a joke. It was cute. I loved that. It was fun.
I remember seeing that on Twitter, but I guess at the time I really didn't know who you were, so I didn't pay much attention to it.
Yeah, I only recently got involved in a bunch of stuff because of everything going on with COVID-19, because I'm not working. So most people that I'm awake during the same time as are all the people in like the UK. So I'm awake now. I'm at work now when they're streaming, so I can usually catch it.
Yeah. Well, and that's I'm usually up all night too and just going to bed when the people in the UK are heading for work.
Like, I'm normally asleep at this time because I work nights.
Yeah, it's actually, for me to get up to do the stream on Wednesdays is actually pushing it. I'm usually not up before noon. My schedule's been getting thrown later and later recently, so it's like I'm pretty much entirely on the thing of I don't go to bed before sunrise at all.
I've had a shit sleeping schedule recently anyway, so
yeah.
I've gotten like 30 minutes of sleep. And why is the kitten sleeping at my feet?
Well,
because
for me it's just gotten difficult because I need to, be aware of making noise when the neighbors are sleeping.
Well, she usually does that because she likes to be held when she sleeps, and I apparently couldn't hear her meowing whenever I had the headphones on. Because now that I've noticed her, she's meowing at me, want me to pick her up.
I'm trying to teach mine the silent meow.
She currently has a little squeaky meow. It's cute.
Yeah, that's another thing I've noticed since the move, that Sammy's been much more vocal than he used to be.
I noticed that whenever I move, Toes, like, usually, Happy's very vocal to begin with. Like, I'm used to him being vocal, but after I moved, Toes got really, really vocal. Like, she meows a lot now. And it's okay, because I think it's adorable, but I'm getting used to it.
Yeah, well, I mean, Sammy used to go like weeks at a time without making a sound. And now it's just all sorts. I guess it's just because there's so many new things and things are out of place.
I had
that
Toes
he's trying to get my attention to check, something that's not where he thinks it should be.
Yeah. I had Toes since May of last year, and I moved in December. From May until December, no meows, even as a kitten. Like a tiny, tiny kitten, no less. And then after I move in December, she's very, very vocal and wants to meow a lot.
Yeah, one of the cats that I got from the feral colony in New York, Fiona, I was thinking that she was mute because she was living with me for 3 years before I ever heard a sound out of her.
I had a deaf cat who meowed, so there you go.
But I know part of it's, that cats, apparently they only meow to communicate with people.
Yes.
So like in a feral colony, they don't make vocalizations to each other.
Yeah, Gigi meows a lot because I guess she thinks I'm her mom, essentially, because, she's so young.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that the kittens will do it to get the attention of the mother.
Yeah, like she'll be playing and she'll start meowing because I guess she wants me to come play with her. Come get her toy, or now she wants to play fetch, so I'll play fetch with her. I need to get her more of those little fluffy ball things anyway because she's destroyed all of them.
Yeah, Sloth Girl found a new toy for Sammy that he just loves. It's just a stuffed cylinder, but apparently it's got like a layer of mylar inside there.
Well, I
So
had
it
crocheted
makes
them
a
a bunch of
crunchy noise.
toys. I had crocheted them a bunch of toys, but I lost my car in December as well.
Mm.
And
Oh dear.
yeah, like a lot of my yarn and a lot of crochet projects were in there. So I lost all of those because they were trying to charge $100 to go get my stuff from my car.
Oh,
I'm like, well, I
sorry.
guess you can keep it because there's not a $100 worth of stuff in there.
Yeah, but that's hard just to, stuff that's got more personal value.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't like that. I don't like when they do things like that. That's just awful. Just awful.
Yeah, well, and that's generally only the result of where it's been privatized.
Ugh. To me, that's just extortion. I mean, that's
Well, and that's what it
awful.
is, that they're trying to find any way to get money out of people. And generally, if somebody's had their car impounded, it's because they don't have money to begin with.
Well, my car was repossessed because I had been depressed for a lot of last year, so I missed a lot of work, and therefore I missed a bunch of payments. So I was asking my finance company, how much do I need to pay to get caught up? She told me to pay whatever. So I paid my normal payment plus about $200 more. Turns out I was paying that month's payment and basically the taxes, so they eventually took my car anyway.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you fall behind. They throw so many fees on it that you can never catch up.
Oh, yeah, I got the bill from them. I owe them apparently $9,000 and something because they didn't make up a lot of it whenever they sold the car in auction. So now I'm going to have that on my credit record. So I don't know what I'm going to do when I need to move in December, January when I get kicked out of here. So, because my lease is only for a year.
That doesn't
I
mean
hear
you'll stick
Minnesota's
around.
nice.
I have heard it's nice, and I'm going to check tonight and see if there are any jobs there. But I respect the person I'm renting the room from enough to hold my side of the bargain of being here for a year.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you've got a lease, yeah.
But she says that she's going to be moving back here anyway. So the only reason I'm here is because she didn't want the house to be abandoned.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you've got an agreement there, you've got a contract that you need to make sure it's taken care of.
Yeah, because I was in an apartment and they were raising the rent up way too high. And last year, since it was so horrible, I wasn't able to save up to move. So she offered to let me rent a room while she was in Washington at her other house. So that way the house wasn't abandoned and the state or the city, wouldn't do anything to the house. Because they will do that if the house is abandoned for too long.
Yep.
But now I'm finding that this year's going to be just as shitty, so I'm not able to save up to move again.
Oh, dear.
I'm sorry, I'm being depressing.
No, you're being realistic.
Yeah. Moving's a pain in the ass.
It is. And the thing is, it costs so much money. And the thing about it also is I can afford apartments, but they also do credit checks. So I don't have very much credit, and what I do have is not good. So I'm going to be screwed on that as well.
Yeah, that does make it a lot more difficult.
You might find a little bit more forgiveness because of the COVID-19, though. Nobody's going to have good credit.
I am hoping so.
Seriously, no one's going to have good credit. I have a feeling the credit check bull crap is going to go out the door next year because...
I hope so. There was, whenever I was trying to move, there was a place that goes by whether or not, goes by your employment. Because where I work, I get paid very well. It's just most of it goes to bills and stuff. So I was trying to move into a place where they go by your employment, how much you're paid by your work, which is okay with me because that's fine because that gets rid of the credit check as well. But they had such a waiting list for people to move in that it wasn't going to be working for me at that time.
Oh, get on the waiting list.
Yeah, I'm currently on their waiting list still. I've been on their waiting list since October of last year.
Mm-hmm. That's a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people.
There are places here that have a 2-year waiting list.
Yeah.
But they go by your income?
They go by income as to like they don't go by as income for like the cheapness of it. They go by the income to say whether or not you can pay. Because like most places they go by to find out whether or not you can pay. They go by your credit check basically.
Yeah.
Most places in my state go by your income rather than your credit score. So
yeah, I was trying to do the income thing for buying a car, but you had to be living in the same place for more than a year, and I just moved, and they're like, well, we only go by the most recent place, so they wouldn't go by the fact that I'd lived at the other apartments for like 3 years.
Well, that kind of sucks if they wouldn't even take that into consideration.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, because
deal with that. I wouldn't deal with that. I'd be like, yeah, kiss my ass.
Yeah, that I didn't get a car from them. I ended up buying a car from a place in my hometown. One of the times my stepfather was feeling charitable towards me, he actually wrote the check because they only took check or cash, and he wrote the check for me. We got the car from a place that gets cars from auctions. I like my new car. It's a sweet car. I like it. It's cute. My only thing about it is I didn't pay attention, and it has low profile tires, and I hate low profile tires.
Oh. Yeah, well, you can always eventually get that adjusted.
Yeah, I'm trying to save up if I ever get able to get those replaced, because I have to replace the tires, all 4 of them at some point anyway.
I guess I don't even know what you mean by low profile tires or what difference that would make.
Have you ever seen a car with the really, really thin tires?
Yeah, lowriders.
Okay.
Yeah, someone put lowrider tires on a Chevy HHR for whatever reason. It looks good.
Stupid.
It's stupid. It looks good. It looks pretty, but they're not very smart to drive on because they blow out too easily. And when they do, there's not that cushion to keep it to where there's more damage to the rim. Like I've already had a blowout. Thankfully, there's no damage to the rim on it because they blow out its rim completely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my new car is a used car, and it has cost me so much money that I had to turn in my life insurance in order to repair it.
Yeah, my car that I had repossessed, I had so much money in that car for repairs. Like I finally just told them, like, take it. I don't want it anymore. I'm tired of this car. Because they wanted the car. I'm like, fine, just take the car. And I was riding with a coworker for a while, but I felt bad, riding with him every day.
I'm sure he didn't mind.
Oh, he didn't. He loved it. The only thing that he didn't like was the fact that after I got in my car, he started like walking around after work. So he didn't want to like take turns because there's a bunch of us that live in this city that work at my workplace, and we're like 45 minutes away from work. So we were wanting to carpool. So he's the only one that didn't want to do the carpool. So, and the moment we were going to start doing that was when COVID-19 hit.
Of course.
Yeah. Like, okay, guess we're not going to work. Alrighty.
Less gas work.
I know, right?
Less gas money, so...
I love working from home. I get to, if I have like a horrible customer, I can just, put them on mute or hang up the phone. Well, I can't hang up on them, but after the call, I can get off the phone and I can snuggle my kitties.
Yep. A lot of people are realizing the advantages of working from home, and a lot of companies are too. So I do wonder how many of the companies are, going to just decide to have more people working from home even after this is over.
My brother-in-law is permanently at home. They've already told him.
I've worked from home before. I've always loved it. My place where I work now, they have declined. They don't want to do working from home. They think it's a security breach. They think will like steal people's credit cards and mess up their insurance because I work in car insurance. So they didn't want us to work from home for the longest time. And they wanted at first to fight having us go home for COVID-19. But the moment 2 people in our building tested positive, they're like, we can't do that. We have to close the building down, have everyone go home, because there's no possible way we could social distance because there's like 7,000 of us in 2 small buildings.
Yeah, is it the standard office building setup with the cubicles, or?
Yeah, standard office setting, cubicles right next to your neighbor.
Yeah.
And, you know, they have found, like, they thought we were going to do horrible with working from home because I guess they don't trust us. And they're like, oh, you guys are actually doing pretty good. The only issue is the fact that, you know, the system's not working very well. Like, it takes 30 minutes to log in. So we have to start logging in 30 minutes before our shift.
I can't imagine what would take that long to log in, but
we're doing a virtual machine, and their virtual machine
Yeah.
is just slow. And then once the virtual machine starts up, there's a bunch of different programs we have to use for our job.
yeah,
And
well,
all of those are
and
slow.
also, like you say, if there's security issues and that, I suppose it'll
Slow things down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I highly doubt they'll let us work from home forever, which makes me sad because I like working from home so much.
Yeah.
I am doing laundry while we're talking, so sorry.
That's okay, but so you've got a washer but no dryer though, huh?
No dryer.
So you
I
just gotta
have-
hang everything out.
Yeah. Big.
I have a washer dryer combo thing, and it takes 6 hours for the entire cycle, which is annoying.
6 hours?
Yes, 6 hours. Anything less than that, and the clothes are just warm and wet.
Yep. I've heard about those. They need work on their tech.
Yeah, the only reason I got it was because whenever I was trying to get a washer and dryer, it was a lot cheaper to get the one thing than it was to get the set. So I had to get it, otherwise I wouldn't be able to afford the set. And I'm a big girl. I've tried hanging my clothes out, and it takes forever for them to dry, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
why
what?
I have
It's one that
fans.
washes and dries in the same drum?
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess is it the drying cycle, I would guess, that takes so long?
Yep.
Yes, it
got a hard
does.
time getting all the water out of there.
Yeah, because it has to, get all the water out, then it has to heat up enough to dry all that water up.
Yeah.
Even on the clothes, so it takes it forever.
Yeah, it has to basically vaporize any water that's left in the bottom of the tub.
Exactly. But I will give my roommate one thing. She has a dryer, except for she doesn't use it because she claims she's a hippie. So she thinks that using a dryer is wasteful. But she has a dryer, so I just usually turn it off after it's done washing and put the clothes in her dryer.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got laundry facilities in the building here. It's just, having to pay $1.50 for each per load.
Oh my God. The last apartment complex I was in, they did not have a washing machine or dryer hookup for the 1-bedroom apartments. So that's why I didn't have one before. And whenever I went to go use their facilities, they had the smallest washer and dryers. It was ridiculous. Like, you couldn't even put like a full-size comforter in it to wash it without it being overloaded.
Well, here they've got, 3 each of the regular size ones, and then they've got one larger front loader.
Yeah. They didn't have the larger ones. I ended up taking my clothes to an actual laundromat because they offered, they were actually a lot cheaper than the one at the apartment complex.
We actually have a place close by that does laundry service. Well, it would if it wasn't for COVID-19. And I've had to take some clients' clothes there to get clean, and they're pretty good, but they're I don't like the idea of a stranger individually going through my laundry and doing spot cleaning.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the
that's
things I
my
missed here.
underwear.
Yeah. That, just having to pay for the washer and dryer is an extra chunk in the budget. Because it's like at the old place, they had them in the building, which were expensive, but since I was gaming every Sunday at my brother's, I could just take my laundry over there and do it while we were gaming.
Yeah, I've done a lot of hand washing and drying. I didn't have a washer or a dryer for about 15 years. So I'm really good at hand washing and drying things, but I
It's
I
annoying.
can't help it. Yeah.
I also built a redneck washer, just for when we've got things that you get a spot on and you need to wash right away.
I was without a washing machine for 2 years, and then my mom, whenever she was feeling nice towards me, she bought me it's a portable washer, and you basically like pour water in it and put the hose in the sink, and it does that, and then there's like a spin thing for it to get all the water out, but it doesn't actually dry the clothes.
Right.
And it worked
That's
pretty
great.
good.
Okay,
Yeah, I
Amiga
used it for
Nuts
a
is
while.
giving us updates on the launch. So he says the capsule hatch is closed, so everybody's inside there. They're ready for the launch.
Oh yeah, there's a launch today, isn't there?
So, yep. Apparently, Amiga Nuts is out at the launch site now.
Well,
Oh, that's
kinda cool.
awesome.
So, yeah, like I say, we've got a little redneck washer, which is basically a 5-gallon bucket with a plunger in it to agitate stuff. So anything that we can't, let sit for a couple of days.
Well, I've gotta get another fan.
Yeah, I need to get another fan too, because the place that I'm in, the house, the AC is shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have an air conditioner this year. I've never actually had one before. But unfortunately, since I'm on a ground level apartment, I really can't leave my windows open at night because somebody could pop the screen out and step right in.
Yeah, the one here, the woman that I'm renting from, she gutted the house to fix it, but she gutted the entire house instead of room by room and fixing it as she went.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things she did was she messed up the air conditioner, and she put in an old air conditioner that's almost on its last legs. So her basic thing was don't put anything less than 78 degrees, which I'm melting because I don't like it that hot.
Yeah, well, the sloth girl, has to have the air conditioner because the heat can trigger her MS, so it can be dangerous for her if it gets much above 80. So I bought her a bigger unit, and I took her older one because I know I won't be using it nearly as much.
Yeah.
I've been looking at some ceiling fans, and if I could figure out how low they hang, I would have one.
I need to get a ceiling fan for this room. My thing about buying anything for this house is the fact that when I move out, I'm pretty sure my roommate is going to say it's hers and then it belongs in the house.
Yep.
So I don't want to put money into her house and leave my stuff behind. But if I'm correct, and I'm probably going to end up living in a extended stay unit anyway, it won't be that big of a deal.
Yeah. I would like to have a ceiling fan, but in this apartment, it can't be done because the ceilings are the precast concrete, so there's no electrical fixtures in the ceiling. They're all wall sconces.
Well, that sucks.
You could always get the metal fan and attach it to your wall.
Don't they actually make those?
Yeah, actually, there are a couple of places that I'm considering, permanently having a wall-mounted fan here.
Because that's what I want.
Well, in particular, I want to put a small one in the bathroom, just so that, after I take a shower, it makes sure everything gets dried out in there and it doesn't have a chance for things to mildew.
Mm-hmm.
I currently have 2 fans aimed at my bed for whenever I sleep because I prefer it to be cold. I hate hot weather.
Me too.
Now, see, I can take the heat. I have trouble when I get chilly.
I can't stand.
Yeah, I used to be able to take the cold too until I wound up, when I was a computer operator, that I was stepping from, 65 degrees in the computer room out into 90 something. And that broke my resistance. And, ever since then, I can't take the cold anymore.
If I had it my way, there would be a ceiling fan in every room in my house.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. There's a ceiling fan. There's a ceiling fan in this room. It's just that someone messed up the power or wiring for it, so it doesn't work. It works as a light, thankfully, but it doesn't work as a ceiling fan.
Yeah, I like ceiling fans just because I need the air moving and they're quiet.
Usually.
Yeah.
I've
Well,
got one that's hella loud.
I hate when they're loud because then I can't sleep because the sound just annoys the living daylights out
yeah,
of me.
It goes
that's
ting
the
ting
same
ting
with
ting
me. I'm
ting
just
ting ting.
when I'm trying to fall asleep, I am too alert to any type of noise. So it's like I need things mostly quiet, and that's why I generally leave playlists on YouTube running, just because if there's familiar voices going, then I don't hear people in the hallways and things.
I want more air in my apartment.
I think the place in this house with the best air circulation is actually the bathroom because the bathroom's nice and cool right now.
Yeah.
Even though it's like 78 degrees in the house. Everywhere else is like an inferno to me.
Yeah, I'm also realizing that before it gets to the point that I can't have the windows open all the time, I've got to do more cleaning in here. Because just on days that I've had the windows shut, I've become aware that they probably didn't shampoo the carpets before I moved in. That there's just kind of a faint lingering odor.
That or they did shampoo. They did shampoo it. They just didn't do a good job. Because usually when they do that, they don't really shampoo
Well,
deeply. They just do like a cursory shampoo of it.
well, and it's like I didn't really pay attention to it, so I didn't notice it before. But yeah, even the carpet fibers and that are pretty packed down in the traffic areas.
Yeah.
So I think they only vacuumed. I don't think they shampooed at all.
Maybe they did like my work and they buffed the carpet.
I don't think they did anything more than vacuum. Otherwise, these wouldn't be so packed down by the door. So yeah, I'm going to need to do a big operation of like, moving all the furniture into the bedroom so that I can shampoo the living room and then, let it dry overnight and then move all the stuff out of the bedroom into the living room so I can do in there.
Oh, my furniture is in my bedroom because that's all I'm doing is renting a room. The only furniture I do not have in my bedroom is my washer and my couch because her couch fell apart and she needed a couch, so
Yeah.
we're using mine.
Well, I was building all my own stuff, so I'm glad I recognized this before I got too far, so I can still like dismantle the stuff that I have put up and move it off of the carpet. If it had gone a little bit longer and I'd got more shelving put up, it would have been too big of a project to get it all off the carpet.
Yeah.
Because basically, once I get this set up, it's going to have a section of the carpet basically coming out about a foot from one wall, the entire length of the wall. That's stuff that's never going to move until I move out. So I'm glad I became aware of it at this point, but it's still going to be a big project.
Oh, I hear you. But yeah, the only thing I don't know. There's so much stuff that I need. It's okay.
So Amiga, this is like the first manned launch of the what is this one? The Falcon or the
Millennium Falcon? Wait, what?
the space launch today? Just I guess this is like going to be the first one that they're actually sending people up. Which is a major thing that with the shuttle program closing down, the U.S. hasn't sent people up, and even when we had the shuttle to get up to the International Space Program, we always had to hitch a ride with the Russians because we didn't, the shuttle was a low orbiter. It couldn't get up the altitude to get up to the space station.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of weird that we won the space race in the 60s, but then dismantled the program So to get up to the space station, we had to ask the Russians to take us up on the spacecraft that they developed in the 60s, because they're still using the Soyuz capsules that were competing with the original Apollo program.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, the Russians are still using the technology they developed in the late 60s.
Oh, I guess if it works, it works.
9 times out of 10, it works. One time out of 10, they blow up on the launch pad.
That's fine. That one doesn't count.
Well, one of the problems the Russians had was the rockets are actually fueled on alcohol. So they've actually had problems with the technicians drinking the fuel. It's basically a highly distilled vodka.
I almost mentioned vodka. I'm like, that's too stereotypical, but now that
No, it really is. Their fuel is alcohol made from potatoes, is what they fuel the rockets with.
It's called potato water, thank you. No. Or potato juice if you prefer.
Yep. I'm not a big fan of the vodka. I can drink it like in screwdrivers. It's got to have a heavy mixer to it.
I've only had it straight twice, but I usually do drink it in like mixed with something.
Yeah, my fiance was big on the vodka, and I actually have a collection of bottles, from various nights we got drunk together that I was planning to build a chandelier out of.
That sounds awesome.
Which I can still do in here because I had already developed the idea, just because in my other apartment I really couldn't mess with the wiring or that. So I was going to just rig it up with LED lights on a battery pack so it doesn't have to be directly hooked to anything.
So it's the Falcon rocket with the Dragon space capsule and 2 astronauts. And I agree with Dave. We should send Trump out there. I say we tie him to the outside of the rocket, though. I don't think we should put him inside the rocket because that would be torture to those poor astronauts.
I think that Trump should stand underneath to make sure the rockets ignite.
That would be that works too. He can either stand underneath to make sure the rockets ignite, or he can be tied to the outside, for safety inspections. And also, since he's the best at everything, he would be the best at rocket safety.
I think he's on his last legs.
You say about him being tied to the outside, reference probably most people won't get. I don't know if anyone else here ever watched the Beast Wars Transformers.
I did.
Okay, well that was how it ended, was that in the final episode they had Megatron strapped to the outside of the ship as they returned to their home planet.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And then the sequel to that was Beast Machines, which was a completely horrible program. They should have never done it. So my personal headcanon is that Megatron went insane on the trip home, and all of Beast Wars is just his delusion while he's locked up in the psych ward.
That makes sense. I didn't watch the second one. I watched the first one. And I don't remember very much of it because it was so long ago, unfortunately.
I was resistant to it because I remembered watching the original Transformers, so originally I didn't like the idea of them being animals and all. But as it went along, yeah, they did a good job of developing the characters, so then I got into it. Especially Dinobot really got to be quite an interesting character, and there were points in it that he got quite philosophical.
I watched it because I like robots and dinosaurs.
Yeah, well, that too. And I did like, it was about 2 years ago that they finally got around to making the original Dinobots into a combiner.
Interesting.
That in the Power of the Prime series, they released remolds, well, not remolds, but a new edition that are faithful to the originals. They look just like the G1 Dinobots, but they do have the ability for all of them to combine together into a giant robot.
That said, I'm going to have to go soon.
Okay.
I have to
Yeah,
the
actually,
recycling?
we're going close to 2 hours here, so I really need to wrap this up too because I have to drive Sloth Girl's son home.
Yeah, I just have to do recycling, and I've got a narrow window to do things in.
Yeah, well, I have to get him back home so he's got time to get ready because he's got to work this evening.
Right.
Oh,
Well,
You know,
drive safely.
Yeah, he
And
also works at a Walmart, so
oh, poor baby.
oh dear.
yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, not a great thing, but it's the only way he can pay his rent.
No, I get it. A lot of us are in bad positions right now. But, to anyone who wants to open up the country and get back to work, go work at Walmart. They're looking.
Yeah, unfortunately, this whole thing of opening up the country, well, they're already seeing it in the places that have reopened. In just like 2 weeks after they reopen, they're having a surge in new cases.
Or they'll just do like George and lie about it and smudge the numbers.
Well, George is one of the instances I was meaning that, they tried to screw with the numbers, but when they figured out what the numbers actually were, it's like, yeah, there's a lot more cases here now.
Well, no, they knew the numbers. They just tried to make it look like the numbers were going down. But the thing was, they left the original dates on the thing that they showed, so people were like, wait, what?
Well, that's what I mean. That,
right, we're sorry.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're not sorry.
I expect to see the same thing happen here, that they're trying to relax things, and I expect, within a month that we're going to see another spike in it.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be prepared. I'm trying to have everything stocked up because I think it's entirely realistic that we may have to self-isolate for a month here and just not go out at all. I can see that happening, that it just won't be safe for me to go out. I'm not that worried about it so much for myself, but like I say, that Sloth Girl with the MS, if she goes back on the medication, the side effect is a compromised immune system.
I'm not worried about it for myself, but my friend that I do a lot of stuff with, like I go to clubs with her and go to her house for game nights and everything else. She has Huntington's and a bunch of other medical issues, so she has to stay safe.
Right, and that's my issue, that I can't bring it back to her.
Yeah, because I haven't seen her. Well, I did see her because we did basically social distancing, socializing. Like I sat on my porch and she stayed in the road in her car.
Yeah.
And we talked that way. So that way there's plenty of distance between us because unfortunately she does live in the middle of nowhere. So there's no stores for her to go to or delivery. So she actually does have to come here to get groceries and everything, unfortunately.
Well, that's, for us, it's just, we can't even social distance. So anything I get, she's going to get. That's just a given.
Yeah.
And for her, just a routine flu, and she's down for a month. So, yeah, this realistically could probably kill her.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely would.
But the thing is, they don't care about that. They think that's just natural. Or we could stop it. Just because it's natural doesn't mean that it's correct.
Yeah, but unfortunately, since, Trump is telling people that it's okay and that he won't wear a mask anywhere he goes, and then that means about a third of the population is going to believe him, and they're not going to wear the mask or social distance.
I don't know how anyone can believe him, really.
And there's the people apparently calling their doctors trying to get that solution that he was talking about.
Yeah.
Chloroquine.
Mama Atheist posted some lady who was whining because her doctor told her no, he wasn't going to prescribe her that. And she's just so pissed about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and again, that's something to line his pockets, because apparently he's invested in the company that supplies like 80% of that stuff to the U.S.
I figured that was a reason he was doing it, because I highly doubt he's taking it himself.
Yeah.
No, he's got a financial tie to it.
Of course he does.
That in itself should get him removed. But, because, they wouldn't let Jimmy Carter have a peanut farm. He had to sell it in order to be president. But Trump can do whatever he wants.
Well, Trump, on the basic surface of it, he doesn't get anything from his companies, and he's not getting money from the thing. And there's no way he's going to give that up at all.
Well,
he's getting everything.
Even the stuff that he made a thing about, doing this trust that he's not getting money, the trust is being run by his sons. So the money is still going to his family regardless.
Exactly.
So how is that any better?
I think then to pull him on the bullshit because,
well, the people that do, they're told, oh, well, it's not nice. It's not right to punish his children for him being the president. His children should still get the money. They have plenty of money. They don't need to be making money off of this stuff while their father is in office.
And the stupid hypocrisy that they can't see is these people who are showing up at the state capitals protesting for their rights and their freedom are willing to blindly follow a guy who clearly wants to be a dictator. And we're not supposed to question him. We get shit for questioning Trump.
Yeah.
So how are you supposed to have personal rights or freedom if you can't question the leader of the country?
People think that you shouldn't be able to question him, though. You shouldn't be able to speak out against him because apparently speaking out against him messes with their freedom of speech somehow.
Yeah, but how can you have freedom of speech if you can't question the people who are running things?
No, don't cloud the issues with facts. That's so.
How dare you bring facts into this? I mean, this is not about facts.
Exactly. Fuck you and your facts.
Where I lived in Michigan, one church had a sign out front that said "Faith trumps facts."
What about Trump?
Very apropos for this conversation.
I've actually seen that as a church sign before too.
Yeah. It's like, okay, whoever put the sign up, have you really thought about that at all?
Oh, they have some great signs. Like one of them is was it I gladly let Jesus take the wheel. God is my co-pilot. And there's another one about don't look before you leap. Let God take it. I'm like, so we should just jump off cliffs and stuff or something?
Basically, kind of sad. But that said, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, let's just wrap it up here. So thank everybody for coming.
You're welcome.
Do either of you have anything coming up that you want to plug?
Girls' night as always.
Okay, and what time is that?
6 on Nadine's channel, I think this Saturday, 6 Eastern. Unless Angie does get her internet issues worked out. So we're just sort of winging it, whose channel will host it. So, yeah.
I've noted it's been floating around lately.
Well, it's been on Nadine's lately because Angie can't host it. And I don't want it actually on my channel because it doesn't go with my theme.
Okay. And
my theme.
Okay, and Seraphim, you're booked for tomorrow morning on Critical Questions. Anything else going on?
If I do get my tablet today, there will be more art. I haven't figured out what I'm going to draw yet, but I'm going to be finding playing with programs and hopefully post some art from it.
Kittens.
Kittens and dinosaurs. I came pretty close to it with the thumbnail for this. I got a kitten and a dragon.
I was working on, as a joke, a gorilla shark, and my tablet died, so I lost all of the footage of me drawing it.
Aww.
But I did finish the drawing, and I was able to save the final drawing. So,
yeah, actually, that thumbnail I used was kind of representative of my fiance and I. Her pet name for me was Baby Dragon.
My pet name is Kitten. Usually.
Okay.
Yeah, Amiga Shill Lord.
Yep, Amiga Nuts is doing a great job shilling. He's got the links for all the relevant channels there.
Yes, he's like our own little shill lord. It's amazing.
Yep. Yeah, and that's, anytime in the chats, even when I'm trying to look for links, he's always got them up there faster than I can type them.
I know, it's amazing.
It's almost like they have everything ready.
I think they do.
I think they do too.
So we definitely appreciate the support. And as far as support, I should again thank Greg Warwick, because he keeps sending me money every month to do this. So he's my only Patreon supporter.
Yeah,
Okay.
I get that. I lost half of my Patreons because I wasn't uploading.
I can offer emotional support, and I don't have a Patreon, so.
Now, see, I don't even see that of, if I'm supporting somebody on Patreon, if they're not uploading, I'm not getting charged. So I don't see any point in dropping the support at that point.
I'm not worried about it right now. I got to get my ducks in a row and get working. And
Well,
Whack, whack.
yeah, and oddly, this situation in convoluted ways has been working out for me, so I'm not really hurting that much, and I've actually, trying to pay something back, and part of that is I'm trying to be subscribed to more channels than I had been before. I figure I can give each of them, $1 or $2 a month anyway.
I get it. I just wish I was working more. But
yeah, well, like I say, one of the side effects of this is since nobody can go out, my online orders have been really up considerably from what they normally expect, so it's managed to compensate.
I hear you.
Okay, but with that then, thank you everybody for coming, and I'll be back tomorrow at midnight, and Friday at 4 p.m. Central Time, I'll be co-hosting on Black Sofa's channel.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, except that doing this 3 days in a row in different time slots is kind of throwing me off, so.
You don't have a schedule anyway.
Yeah, but since it's a different time slot each day, I can't even coordinate any kind of sleep schedule or anything.
I get it.
Okay, goodbye everybody. We'll catch you all later.
See you